Hello, I'm Darren Slack, and welcome to Week 2 of NFA's QB Cast, your weekly prep talk podcast for helping everyone associated with game day to get better. It's Week 2 for most and more for some, which means we have a game or two under our belt to see what our team looks like and to know what aspects of our game need attention. This is going to require leadership on the team to get better, so I'm talking to you quarterbacks to be that player. Our 12-week leadership series continues this week with number 2 on the list of critical attributes for quarterback leaders on the field and in life, and that's coachability. Aaron Rodgers, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the game today, is quoted in an article by Peter King last year saying, "I desperately want to be coached." Taking a broader look at those who are most successful as leaders, you can find this uniquely common thread in all of them. They intentionally seek out and invite coaching into their lives. They don't endure it, they don't put up with it, they pursue it with a passion. They understand that we never stop learning our craft no matter what level is achieved. Now there's certainly an ego to the position of quarterback that each player must address in their own life. Ego is our self-esteem. It's how we manage our sense of self-importance and identity. We touched on this last week when we were discussing the need for a quarterback leader to have confidence. Confidence is fed by one's ego or beliefs about their own self-importance. When confidence falters in some area of our lives, a person can become insecure about undeveloped character flaws, and they may seek to project a confidence that isn't real. It can come across as cockiness or arrogance. These flaws and insecurities are especially evident when that player is corrected. Young men who lack a properly tuned ego struggle when faced with being confronted about their weaknesses. They've built so much of who they are in their performance that any critique of their play is taken personally, and they can react emotionally because of immaturity. Coachability is maturity on display. It's evidence of a right view of oneself and a confidence that emanates from a deeper place than performance. Coachability accelerates the earning of respect from teammates, and it increases the opportunities that coaches will give players who are coachable. Coachability isn't just the willingness to nod at a coach when he offers a suggestion. This quality goes much deeper when it's authentic. So I'd like to offer 3 non-negotiables of authentic coachability for your consideration this week. Number 1, a coachable leader responds to correction in word and action quickly, respectfully, and gratefully. Now, this first one will challenge even the most humble person. Let's get something straight. Coachability isn't a possessed character quality, it's a practiced one. That means it's something we're always working on. No one is always coachable and ready to receive correction. Coachability is a developed response, regardless of one's feelings, frustration, or the situation. It's a choice of the will to extend respect through listening to someone's opinion of us, no matter if we agree with them or not. We hear them out, we consider, we investigate. We suspend our need to be right, we hold our tongue, and we don't assign wrong motives. We listen to what they're saying. This is without question the most difficult attribute to attain and maintain in life as a leader. Yet it's absolutely critical for success. It cannot be overstated. If you are not coachable in an ever-increasing way, over time, you'll fail in an ever-increasing way. What's so scary is that slide into failure is so subtle, you may not even notice before it's too late. That's why it's so important. Listen, I get it. You're young and tired of having all kinds of authority figures telling you what to do, and you're expected to respond to every one of them quickly, respectfully, and gratefully. Frankly, that's a big lift for anyone. I feel your pain, but that internal mutiny and pushback inside will always be a temptation we have to fight. Sometimes we just don't agree with the correction. Sometimes we just can't see the flaw that others do in ourselves. Sometimes we're just tired of hearing how we failed all the time. Or we're just not interested in the coach's opinion because, quite frankly, we don't think very much of him. These are all very normal responses. So how do we develop coachability in those situations when we feel this way? Well, we need to ask questions of the coach correcting us to better understand what their expectations are. These questions will not only give you some time to process through the sting of being corrected for the 1,000th time, it'll allow the coach time to clarify his correction. So say something like, "What would a change look like here, coach? Can you be more specific about where I'm breaking down so I can better understand?" Or, "What's the best way to go about doing it how you want it done, coach?" And if you're still struggling, avoid body language or outbursts that say you're frustrated or angry. This sends the wrong message that you're angry with a coach when most of the time you're really just upset with yourself. Coaches aren't always aware that you're just angry with yourself, and they could take your reaction the wrong way and very personally. This can only make things worse, so be careful how you respond. How do I keep fighting that frustration? Well, you got to keep asking questions. Coach, I know I'm not doing what you want. Can you give me any more coaching on how to make this right? This change feels strange to me. Is there something I should feel in doing it right that I'm not feeling now? Or I'm trying to do what you want, Coach, but I'm obviously missing something. Can you see what I'm not seeing? These are all the types of questions that tell the coach you're still engaged with what he wants. You're not feeling sorry for yourself, and he has the permission to keep giving input. These things are very important to send the coach a message that you're engaged in what he wants you to do. You know, if you simply change the word coach to teacher, mom, dad, boss, or any other title, these approaches work in any area of your life. Being corrected is painful, I get it. It gets really old really fast, but hating correction is, well, stupid, because you're missing the point in feeling people are out to get you. Coaches correct players with potential. They placate players who've plateaued. When a coach just tells you what you want to hear, that's not good. He doesn't see much upside. When a player has upside, a good coach will get the best out of that player, but at first it may seem pretty intense to be corrected so much. You just have to resist the lie that says they don't like you. Coaches correct to improve, not destroy. Listen, QB, if you don't have a coach in your grill every day about how you need to improve, you probably aren't the starter. And if you aren't being corrected much at all, you probably aren't playing. So if you want to play and you aren't right now, start pursuing correction. Stop blaming everything on the coach, your parents, and your boss, and step up. I dare you. Call a meeting with them alone, get the truth on the table with tough questions, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and get yourself in a position to compete. There is no other way. I guarantee this. You take that approach, you'll open doors to opportunities if you can do what they ask. Coaches correct those they trust. You demonstrate your trust back by responding and changing. You see, correction is the path to greatness on the field and in life, and everyone who wants to achieve something great must take that painful road. You are not alone. All right, let's move on to number 2. A coachable leader doesn't react to the manner of the correction. They listen for the specifics that need attention. You know, some coaches are not very effective communicators. They can be extremely harsh, can make statements that seem to include reminding you of every mistake you've ever made as a player. They say things like, "You always do that," or "I can never get you to understand this." They're frustrated with you making the same mistake over and over again, so it's clear that you're not understanding what they want. We have to avoid tanking emotionally and self-pity at the nature of the correction, at the anger and the harshness. Listen, coaches are under extreme pressure, and you're often catching the rage for something you didn't even do. Coaches are often blowing off steam they feel towards something else on you. Often they don't even realize they're doing it because it's so normal to them, and frankly, it makes them feel better. It doesn't make it right. I'm just explaining it so you don't always think you drove them to that level of anger. That can be a misunderstanding for a young man. Most coaches are under phenomenal stress at school, from administrators, at home, from families, and they're trying to balance their lives with their coaching, and from fans who want the team to win on Friday night. To understand that might help you cut them some slack and let them vent without you getting upset. If you can keep your cool when the coach is losing his, you gain respect, and he's much less likely to do it again, simply because he appreciates your attitude. When you have a break or you're away from the field in a quieter moment, ask some of the questions I mentioned before. "Listen, coach, it's obvious. I thought I knew what you wanted, but I don't. Can you help me understand this better?" Or something like, "Coach, I need you to take me through that point again. I'm just not getting it." Listen, the humble road is the most painful, but it is always the most respected. You need to take it. One last point on this. It's always good to write down what you heard the coach say when you have a chance. We have very short memories when it comes to change. So taking notes shows the coach you care about his training. It makes him feel important, and it keeps you focused on moving the chains towards lasting change. Which brings us to the last point about lasting change. Number 3. A coachable leader pursues ongoing accountability to sustain change. You know, it's one thing to take correction once on a topic of failure, but it's quite another to rep a bad habit to extinction. That requires time and assistance from trustworthy others. Change is the hardest thing you will ever do as an athlete, a leader, or a person, period. There is no magic formula or potion, and often real change feels very foreign to us at the beginning. We have to break old habits, and sometimes it just takes someone holding us accountable for a while until we can get it done. As the season progresses, you're going to get tired and irritable, which is why we need input in an ongoing way. You might even take the step to meet regularly with the coach to ask for feedback on your progress if you're really serious about changing. You need to get his input to say, how am I doing, coach? We need to ask for that accountability and give permission for the coach to stay on you, because then he'll begin to feel like he's pushing you too hard if he doesn't feel like he has it. You have to set him at ease by responding and requesting that input over time. Listen, I hope that encourages you and helps you some as we work to build and sustain coachability as players and as men. Next week, we dive into another important attribute, but this week, make sure that we do everything we can to improve and increase our coachability. We wish you the best, NFA Nation, in your games this week. We'll talk to you next week after you win.